I'm not convinced I know how to read. I've just memorized a lot of words.
The first rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club.
True. All life ends in death, which we, as a species, are cursed with knowing, resulting in something. Again, this is really not my field.
When it comes to really not being my field, it'd be hockey. I like it, but we get people on who know what they're talking about. I got him, Seth, on hockey on the Al Travis Show. Seth, how you doing today?
Al, I'm doing great, other than it just being below zero every day for like 3 straight weeks. I've lost all track of time. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, this Minnesota thing, it's for real. We get out of it. It looks like tomorrow, Saturday, we get up there in the big 20s. You know, in Texas, they're held in their house forever at 20 degrees. But we'll get to the 20s. Then you're in February. You get to Valentine's Day, struggle through that made-up holiday. And then things start warming up, and you can look forward to spring. So we're getting there. We're getting there, my friend. Hang in there. Hang in there. I want to ask you a couple things. Not that I want to give hockey the kudos for their All-Stars game. NFL playing their All-Star game this weekend on Tuesday. Because the NFL knows it's the stupidest thing they've ever been created, and they're embarrassed. They don't even want their spouses or friends to see that stupid thing, so they put it on a Tuesday. Why not just get rid of it? Your opinion. Just dump it.
They got to get rid of it. I mean, if you're putting it on like ESPN 8 and just trying to bury it, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to bury it so that people don't watch and complain about how bad it is, because they know that it's non-competitive.
But not competitive. So it's the NBA, which is not competitive. It's just it's high school basketball with no defense. Just go dunk it if you can. And it'll be 182 to 90, 198. It's not basketball. They should do the same thing. Just get rid of it then. If you're not going to play, don't. I want to give hockey cred because I actually watched last year's All-Star deal because they had, the country versus country. And I'm like, hey, I'm into this now. They played hard. You couldn't tell that anybody was like slacking off, and they all wanted to win. I love that. Hockey's got it right.
It was the kind of return of the Four Nations face-off, just to simulate with the Olympics coming up this year. And it was a resounding success because every team was into it. And so I think the NHL is going with that going forward, is instead of the tried and true, let's have all the All-Stars play together. Yeah. They're going to this Four Nations on years where they don't have the Olympics, and I think it's just going to work out way better.
I think the Olympics, we found out I get it. It's the Olympics, so you got to play. It's winter sport. But how do they get the practice? I mean, we're playing hockey, 3 weeks for taking off hockey because these guys are all going to go. Got it. But that's just getting you into the playoff rounds to find out where you're seated. When do they actually practice together?
That's a great question. And this is one of the things that I kind of struggle with the NHL. The first thing is, the Christmas break. They don't allow teams to travel out until the day of for the Christmas break, which never makes any sense.
Really?
Don't get me on my soapbox about that. But as far as this Olympic break goes, I mean, for guys that aren't playing in the Olympics, it's like 3 weeks off. And then you have a game, you've got the freeze, so a lot of teams will play either the 4th or the 5th. Mm-hmm. And after that, they don't play again until the 22nd, and it's just like, oh, here you go, you got a game.
It's not. It seems strange to me as well. But that being said, they have to find a way of making that happen. If you want an all-star quote-unquote break, you want to see the Olympics. Since the 80s, I can't not have hockey during the Olympics, so we have to do it. Maybe, do you like going back to the college kids and letting them be the big underdogs?
It's going to be fascinating to see how how this plays out and what teams are rusty like right after the break is done. Yeah. And for the Minnesota Wilds, here locally, they've got some very tough games right out of the chute after the Olympic break is done. They play Colorado, I think the second game back. Okay. In Colorado, they play Utah, who is in the 4th spot in the Central right now. So it's just kind of one of those things where you look and you say, hey, can we get a day of practice or two before these games start? Yeah. The NHL's like, no, sorry.
Let's talk about your Wild. They went through a slumpy period, but they've won the last couple. They're in second place. If I'm not mistaken, 7 points behind the Avalanche. The Avalanche have lost 2 in a row. Is that a number they could overtake? I'm looking at 55 games, so you had 28 to go. Yeah, 28 to go. No, yeah, 28 to go.
28 to go.
Can you make up 7 points in 28 games? I mean, mathematically, they're not out, but can you do that against Colorado?
You can. It's just with as good as this Colorado team's been all season, it's not likely. But if you look at what has happened to the Avalanche here over the last 10 games, I think they're 4-6. They've given up 7 goals twice. So their goaltending has started to get a little leaky. I would say I think the Avs will still hold that top spot, but if the Wilds kind of get back on track here, there is a chance that they could find the top spot.
See, that's so funny you say that. They've given up 2 7-point games in the last handful, and yet their point differential is 69 to the good, and the next closest, us, 21. So that's after giving up 14 in 2 games. Are you kidding me? That's off the charts.
They are slightly below historic pace, are the Avalanche, and one of the best, if not the best offense in hockey, but their defense is great. Their goaltending's been really good. But I think we're seeing it, especially with the Wild, with Dallas, with Colorado. Mm-hmm. This truncated schedule has started to really catch up to teams where you're playing 3-4 games a week just to try to get them all in, and everybody seems like they're gassed right now.
All right, would you be one for 60, 62-game season?
It's funny that you should mention that because next year the NHL is going to 84.
They're picking 2 more up?
Yep, they're picking 2 more up. They are reducing the preseason. So I think there's going to be 1 or 2 preseason games, and then that's it. Then you go right into it.
Wow. Okay. And you're saying with 30 games to play, then they're already gassed. That's not good for anybody. All right. Let's talk to the other teams to get this done. On the Eastern Conference, Tampa Bay and the Hurricanes, the top of those 2 divisions. And but they're tighter. I mean, Detroit Red Wings only 2 points back at Tampa. You like the conference, the Eastern Conference? Is that where the hockey's played?
Yeah, there are some real good teams in the East, and I would say don't overlook the Florida Panthers. I know they are pretty far back as of right now, but they're getting healthy.
6th place?
Yeah. They're getting healthy for the first time all season, and that's a team back-to-back Stanley Cup winners. They know what it takes to flip the switch. Even though Tampa Bay and Detroit and Carolina are clearly the 3 to beat in the East, don't be surprised if the Panthers find a way to make the playoffs.
I'm going to make that mental note to bring up to you because that seems like 6. That's a long ways to go to catch up. Even the next place up is 8 points ahead of them. Okay, fair enough. But if you believe them, you believe them. Then on the Western side, obviously Colorado. We love Minnesota. The Dallas Stars, the Knights in Edmonton, leading their side, the Pacific. But they've only got 64 points. Is that because they're all well matched down there, or are they not? Are they the second level?
Those 2 teams, Al, are so weird. Vegas has 28 overtime games this year. So, if you add in the regular losses and the overtime losses, they're under 500. They're at 28 losses on the season, even though they got a point in half those games. They don't have that killer instinct like they've had in previous years. And Edmonton, same story. Their goaltending's been real bad this year. I will just go ahead and say this, that the team that comes out of the West will be one of the top 3 in the Central.
Oh, okay, fair enough. You one of those 3 will do it. Okay, fair enough. Let's go to break. I want to find out how things are going on the college side of things. For folks who don't know, Seth does the in-house, what do you call it? The in-house
public address
system for the Mankato Mavericks. We'll talk with him after this on the CCHA right after this.
Think about it. A famous politician once said, "You're entitled to your opinion, but you are not entitled to your own facts." But in a world full of AI and fake news, where can Minnesotans find the facts? Center of the American Experiment is Minnesota's go-to source for fact-based analysis and common sense solutions for taxes, energy, public safety, and our kids' education. Visit AmericanExperiment.org for more information. Think About It is brought to you by Center of the American Experiment, Minnesota's think tank.
There's never a good time for car trouble, especially when you've got places to be. Whether it's a mysterious rattle under the hood or just time for that routine oil change, you need a mechanic you can trust. That's where Jay's Auto in Blue Earth comes in. From strange noises to engine diagnostics, Jay and his team provide honest service at a fair price. They're proud to keep their neighbors on the road safely season after season. Don't wait for a breakdown. Stop at Jay's Auto today or call 525-1052.
Amongst friends, the Al Travis Show. Nothing but talk.
And we've got him, Seth, in talking hockey. Let's just start with the Mavericks because that's where you're there all the time doing the announcing. How is Minnesota State doing?
Well, they pulled off a much-needed win this past weekend as they beat Augustana, but they had a 1-6-1 stretch to start off 2026, and now you're in the unfortunate situation, Al, of you've got some winnable games down the stretch, which is good, in the final 8, but you don't play any of those teams that are ahead of you in the standings, which is Bowling Green, Michigan Tech, and St. Thomas. So if you played those teams, it'd be a different situation where if you sweep them, you're able to directly move up the standings, but you got to not only play your best hockey of the season, you also have to hope that those teams fall off the pace too.
All right, and that's just in the conference where we're at. Now, to get into the big playoffs, right, the Frozen whatever, you've got to, we're going to have to win that conference championship, right? That's what we're looking at is where we put ourselves.
Yeah,
and how many?
That's the situation as it looks right now because, you're down as far as the rankings go. I think the last I saw, they were down at about 20.
Yeah.
It's looking like they've got to put themselves in position and win the conference tournament to get that automatic bid.
All right, and does that look like that's going to happen? Do they look like they again? You said they won this last one they needed to. Are they looking like the team that they can be, or is there something missing?
Yeah, they finally started to get some offensive production in that game against Augustana. One of the things that really set last year's team apart is they had almost 2 top lines. And this year, they just have not been able to get consistent production from their top line guys. They've held their own against St. Thomas, against Augustana. Michigan Tech, Bowling Green. They've held their own against all those teams. They're just going to have to, when in those elimination type situations, they're just going to have to give it everything they have. They can beat all those teams. The question is, will they?
Is it the quality of teams? When I look at the standings, the USCHO standings, we're muddled up at the bottom, right? I mean, that St. Thomas, who's leading our division, they're at 15, so they're even borderline right making it. Then it's Augustana, then you see Minnesota State, then Michigan Tech. How come if Michigan Tech is ahead of us, if they're not ahead of us in this ranking? Is it the quality you played?
Yes, and that's where the Mavericks, that we've talked about this a couple of times. That's where those two ties against Wisconsin, who's number 8. That's where games like that really come in handy. Wisconsin, one of the best teams in the nation. And so the fact that the Mavericks played them twice and tied them twice, that's why they are ahead of Michigan Tech, because those are viewed, I guess, as quality losses is the term.
Okay, and that's fair enough. Again, quality, strength of schedule, and that sort of thing. Yeah. Let's run down that list. Talk about some other close to us kind of teams. We usually go with North Dakota because they're right there biased. North Dakota's sitting in 4th place. They seem to have something going on. 26-0 for a record. We like their chances in the playoffs.
Yeah, they've been one of the best teams all year, and I think they are certainly a team that can make some noise in the tournament when we get that far.
All right, run down. Then you get to Minnesota Duluth, number 7. They've had a couple of years off of being fantastic. Where are they at now?
They were, I think, as high as 4 in the rankings, if I remember correctly. Couple of losses here and there, but still top 10. They've been there all season.
All right. We hate Wisconsin. They're at 8, but we tied them, so that's okay. But now you get down to it. St. Thomas at 15, fighting to get in. Should they be in the playoffs?
I think so. They have been on a really, really good stretch. They got a bona fide top line. So it looks like they will be in at this point, but this is the tricky part about this is being down in that 15, 16, 17 range. You have one bad weekend, and that can be the difference between making it and not.
Well, even if you took Augustana at 16, they should get in if this all stayed the same. But if Minnesota State wins the division, they get an automatic bid, which throws, 16, you're out of there, right? I mean, that's how that works.
Yeah, and especially, let's say a team like Augustana, let's say they lose in the first round of the conference tournament, that may bump them down.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. And then there's St. Cloud, who's sitting at 20. Struggling year for them. I want to throw Bemidji in there. Where are they? Why are we not seeing anything from them? Your thoughts on those guys?
For St. Cloud State, it's one of those. St. Cloud State is in a tough spot because now you're competing against, not only Minnesota State, but the Gophers, St. Thomas now, Duluth, as far as getting those top recruits in the state. And with the fact that, the university's kind of on the downtrend, I think that has started to weigh into to the consideration for players when they're looking at where they want to go.
And then the big missing link on this whole thing, where are the University of Minnesota Gophers? Where are my Gophs?
Boy, I saw a box score for the Gophers here recently. I think they had another game that they played where it was 7-6. They have no goaltending this year.
Oh, wow. And that you either get a kid who gets it or you don't, and they click or they don't. I mean, I guess that's bad drafting. Do you see a lot of do they do the transfer portal in hockey a lot? Can you go find one and say, hey, you can be a stud here if you come help the Gophers out?
Well, that's how the Gophers are going to have to do it. I mean, I know they typically recruit well, and Bob Motzko's he's a good recruiter, but this is where you got to use the transfer portal, because until those young recruits are ready, you got to have somebody that can step in and win you games.
Right now, yeah. That's what it's going to take. All right. I appreciate you coming in here every couple of weeks and chatting us through this and what's going on. The season, if you've got 24 games, when does the playoffs start? It's got to be relatively quick.
Yeah, it's going to be, there are about 8 games left, so that'll take us through most of February, and then come March, it is playoff time.
All right. Seth, love having you on the program, sir. Thanks for taking the time to be with us.
Al, my pleasure. Always enjoy.
Seth on hockey on the Al Travis Show.
You need a friend at the Capitol who knows how to get things done.
And